Hello everyone, my name's Dave. I am going to be doing the Great Outdoors Challenge. This starts in about the 7th of May, so I'll be travelling up from my base in Scotland where I live, and I'll be travelling up to Dornie on the 6th and starting out on the 7th. The Great Outdoors Challenge is an event that's held every year. I think it's been around about 40 years now it's been running, something like that. It's something you apply to go on to, and they'll check out whether or not you've got the required experience. And it's a fantastically run event. You have check-ins, and you have to have your route checked and vetted and everything. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. If you've ever done any long distance hiking, definitely recommend applying to go on it. So yeah, I am going to be walking from Dornie through the African Tailway, well, up over the Falls of Glomac, through the African Tailway, and then up to Dunnottar, cross Loch Ness, then up through the Monolith, through to Aviemore, up Larry Grew, Braemar, Ballater, and then down towards Dunnottar Castle at the end. I'll be vlogging it all, so I will be posting when I can, but yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy it if you are following me, and if not, please subscribe and you'll get all of those. Also, people have said in the past, why don't you do a kit list? So this time, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'll go through the big three first, and then we'll go on to the other kit afterwards. So I'll start off with the tent. My tent is the Z-Packs Duplex Zip. It's an American tent, hugely, embarrassingly expensive, but it is an absolutely brilliant tent. It's made of Dyneema, incredibly light, with the pegs and everything. It weighs around about 750 grams, and it's if anybody has, oh great. Well, sorry about that. So this is the wind blowing, and if it falls over again, I'll be furious. So yeah, if anybody has, I've forgotten where I was at. I can't remember where I was at when I got rudely interrupted by the wind. Yeah, so it's a trekking pole tent. I use the Black Diamond carbon ones. They're pretty heavy. Well, they're about 500 grams, both of them. You can get lighter ones, but I like the solidity of them because they're my main supports for the tent. It's bulletproof. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. If anybody knows the Lansham 2, this is like a Dyneema version of the Lansham 2. It's honestly, I can't recommend it highly enough. And there's bags of room inside as well, so you can get all of your kit inside. A good size sleeping mat, and you're absolutely still got a palace, so definitely recommend it. Brilliant tent. Next one up is my sleep system. So this is a regular wide Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite. Not much to say about this. It's a 3-season sleeping pad. I've got the X-Therm, and I was swithering over whether or not to take that one or not. I still may if the weather is bad, but we'll see how that one goes. And but this is my intention to take that. Pillow is the Trekology A-Luft pillow. Thing I like about it, it's got a strap on it, sticks to the mattress really well. The other thing I might do, and my lovely wife has made it for me, she's got like a little pillowcase that this can slip into, and I tried it out and it was brilliant. So if you see on the video later that I've got this lovely pillow, that's because I've decided to take the pillowcase with me as well, and that's pretty likely, to be honest, because it was super comfy. Inside, by the way, inside the tent, I meant to say this, I've got a sit mat. Not 100% sure I'm going to take this because I've also got a little bit of black plastic, and this can sit really comfy in the awning, and I can put all of my my stuff on it, the vestibule, sorry, I should say. It sits really, it's light, it packs away, smaller than this, and it does the job. So will I take one or the other or both? I'm not sure yet, but nearly always take my black plastic, and it's never let me down. It's fantastic stuff. Cheap as chips as well. So that's that. Sleeping bag. This is the Sierra Designs Cloud 20. So it's a 20-degree sleeping bag, and its comfort rating is -3. Now, I'm quite a cold sleeper, so this is on the edge of what I would normally take. I'll go through my, in fact, I'll go through my sleep stuff in a minute. But so this is a great sleeping bag, though, because it's not one of those zipped ones. It's one that it's like almost like a quilt. So you've got a sleeping bag, but with like a quilt type top that comes over, and it's super cozy, super comfy, and yeah, I love it. So I will probably, in fact, I will be taking that, and if I have to adjust my sleep clothing accordingly because of that, then I will. So moving swiftly on to my sleep clothing. By the way, I nearly always pack anything that I want to keep dry in Dyneema. You can get them from Mountain Sky, these bags, and they are absolutely brilliant. Can't recommend them enough. I've used them all the time. I've never had a failure from them. They're really, really good. So definitely recommend them. So bearing in mind I'm a 60-year-old bloke, suffer a bit with the cold. I've got, for when I get to camp, I've had these for a few years now. What are they? They're Western Mountaineering, and they are super cozy. Absolutely love them. They've got a bit of a firmer backside, but they're down quilt. They're a down sort of trouser, and I can't remember exactly how much they weigh. If you bear with me, I'll tell you. They weigh 230 grams, and they are super cozy. I never get cold in those. In terms of sleeping top or just something in the evening when you've stopped and you're in your tent, I've got a Lim jacket. Again, it's down, so I can't afford to get it wet. But it also is super light, and it weighs 160 grams. So works really, really well. And those two together, if it's super cold, you can wear that in your quilt and you're utterly sorted. Now, I do have merino wool long johns. When I was camping out in winter, I had them both on, and honestly, perfect. Don't think I'll probably need them, so I may not take these, but they're about 200 grams anyway. And then I've got my merino wool base layer as well for the evening. So that would, in a summertime, that would probably be, well, not summertime, but springtime, that would be my normal setup with that. Again, depending on what the forecast is like, I will either take these or a combination of these, and we'll see how it goes. And finally, just a pair of thick darn tough socks, keep my feet warm. I sometimes as well, and you'll see it when I go through my odds and sods, but I'll also throw in some hot hands in the bottom of the sleeping bag as well. So that's that. By the magic of video, you will now see me. I've packed all of this stuff away. Right. So next up is the rucksack. Those of you, whoopsie daisy. Those of you that know this rucksack, it's the Osprey Exos. It's the older version. It's not the new version. I much prefer the older version because of. Oh, let me just put this off a moment. Because of this system. This is a Springback's airspeed system, they call it, and it's nice and firm. The new ones are a bit floppy, and they don't really ventilate your back as well as the older ones do. What I've added to them are 2 Z-Packs hip belt pockets, and they're waterproof and they're bulletproof. They're brilliant. That was the downside of the second version that came out. It didn't have any hip pockets, but it's easily redeemable. As you can see, you can sort that out. I also have an on bag. My old one was falling apart, so I've finally bought a new one. I haven't used this one yet, so I'll christen that on the trail. And I also have a drinks bottle, again from Z-Packs, that I just obviously use it for putting my smart water bottle in, which I haven't got with me at the moment, but that's what I do. Actually, while I'm on that, I'll just come up to the water side of things. I'll be using a Katadyn B free. And now I've actually got two, and I'm not sure, I may not bother with a smart water bottle and just use these as they are. This gives me redundancy, so if one of them fails, I've still got another one. But its water is plenty, so I just need to go to a stream, fill up, and off I go again. So it's not going to be an issue. I think the only thing I do need to be aware of, and actually I'm just talking myself out of this now, is I'll be using electrolytes as well. And if I put electrolytes in there, then obviously it's not going to go through. So yeah, okay, so we'll bin that idea. I'll take one of these. This will probably sit in here, it often does. And I fill it up, and then I use that to fill up my smart water bottle, which I will now be taking. And it'll only be one single 850, but I'll use that to fill it up, and I can drop my electrolytes in there, which I'll come on to in a minute. Firstly though, oh sorry, yeah, this was, I don't know why I've got a coffee sachet there. So this is a spongy, absolutely brilliant. They're like super light, but they really absorb the water. So any condensation you get from a single skin tent, which this is, you can just wipe away really easy with that. So that will go with that. I also, in this bag, I have a Dyneema packing liner, whatever you call it, bag liner. Absolutely huge, as you can see. And this just goes straight in the bag, and everything gets bunged in there. Now, any of you that have hiked in Scotland know that you can't mess about with keeping your stuff dry. So everything goes into that, and everything that is really important to me goes into another bag. So never had a failure yet, and it seems to work. So that's what I'll be doing again this time. You really don't want to mess about with that. Even if you use like a black bin liner or something, definitely have a pack liner that you can then put your stuff that you want to keep dry in. So that's the big three. So now moving on, let's look at, well, I'll quickly cover food. So the way my route goes, I'll be able to resupply every about 5 days, I think. So this is about 4 days worth of food, minus the snacks. No, there's about 5 in there. I've got coffees and things like that, and I'm not going to go through them. You've all got your own food preferences. Safe to say it's mostly, well, it's nearly all dried food. In terms of snacks, what I tend to do is it's either something like cheese and biscuits and or peanuts, or a peanut mix, which does me. I'm not a big eater. I don't tend to like a lot of chocolate when I'm hiking. Sometimes I will. I like a bit of chocolate in the evening, but when I've stopped, but that's about it really. So yeah, it tends to be just staple foods that will keep me going through the day until I stop. In terms of cooking, so this has changed over the years. I started out with a Mini-Mo, what are they called? Who makes them? Anyway, the Mini-Mos, and it was good, but it was heavy. So I've now changed all of that, and I'll show you what I use. So the main pot is an MSR Titan. I've had this now about a year or so. Absolutely brilliant. Nice little kettle, 900 mils. Now it does, you can, if you wanted to, you could just stick that in there, and that's a medium-sized canister, and put that in there and put your lid on and all your rest of it. But actually, I can't be doing with that. So I just tend to put all of my loose bits into there on a sponge, and then stick this on the top in a bag. But yeah, it does the job. It's brilliant. It's got graduations on it, so you know how much to fill it up for your meals and your drinks. What more can you say about it? It's light. I can't remember how much it weighed actually though, but it was certainly light for, it's titanium, so you know it's going to be light. And oh yeah, the other thing I like about it, it's got a nice little plastic lid to take it off. The amount of times you struggle with those silly little things like that. But yeah, little pot stand from a jet boil. That was it. That's what they are. I've got a Soto Windmaster. This is a great bit of kit. I like it. And I've got the you can get one with 4 when you first buy it. It comes with 4 prongs, or you can change that out. You can buy an accessory that's 3 prongs, and you just clip it on. That's what I've done because it's lighter and it packs away easier. Really, really like it because it's an efficient burner. You don't use a lot of fuel, and it heats it up quickly. And it's got a piezoelectric igniter. And it's got a regulator as well. So it works really, really well. The only thing I don't like about it is its height. It's huge. I don't know why it has to be so tall. It makes it more difficult for packing away, but it's a minor thing compared to the benefits that it brings. So yeah, I definitely like that, and that works well. And in terms of, I mean, everybody has these, don't they? These little Sea to Summit mugs. This is a newer version of one. This has got 400 mils. And I also like it because you can actually hold it without it, like the other ones, just complete like orange. Whereas this, you've got like a ring that you can hold your drink on. It's a bit firmer as well. And obviously it's got a bit more in. So yeah, I like that one. And again, packs down small, so it's quite good. And just a Sea to Summit Spork. Titanium again, trying to keep the weight down. And finally, just a bit of sponge that I bung in the bottom there, and it stops that horrendous rattling that you get normally with your food kit. So yeah, I normally actually have something like this just stuck in there. So that's a coffee sachet flat white, which is my favourite. That normally goes in there, and then if I want to stop, I can just sort it. It's fine. I think I might have a visitor. Nope, they've gone. So yeah, so that's my food kit. Now again, I'll just magically put all of this away. There you go. And moving on now, so we've done food and cooking. Yeah, I'll come on to the odds and sods last. Coming on to clothing. So I'll start with my rain kit. I use the Berghaus pack lights. I've got some Rab Pro something or others, Kinetic 2s or something like that. And they're really, really good. I like them a lot. And they're almost like walking trousers as well. They're like the soft shell type material. They're a little bit more heavier than this, and the legs don't unzip up as far as these do, which if you get, when you're getting older, it's nicer to have a bit more flexibility. And these are really, really good. I can walk all day in these, and I've had them years now. You'll notice the patch. But they're really good. They serve me brilliantly, and I will definitely be using those again. In terms of my coat, I'm probably going to be using this. This is it's a joint venture between Ronhill and Mountain Equipment, and it's what's called a shake dry. Now they've stopped making these. Don't know why. I wonder if it's because of the materials. Now they're moving to this new, more eco-friendly one. But I bought this just before they stopped making them. Hellishly expensive, but absolutely brilliant and super light. I used this on the Cape Wrath Trail, and when I was doing Land's End John O'Groats last year, never let me down once, and it worked really, really well. That said, I've also got a Mountain Equipment Gore-Tex Pro jacket, the Lotzi, and depending on what the weather forecast is like, I will either take this or I'll take that. One is bulletproof, and the other one is great for dealing with sort of rainy, showery days. But if I was multiple days with heavy rain, I'd probably go with the Lotzi. Although when I was going over the Falcon Ridge on the Land's End John O'Groats last year, my Lotzi wetted out as well. So it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. This is about 3 times as light as the Lotzi jacket. So I will probably, if I can, take this. But again, it depends on the forecast. I mean, if it's like this, it will definitely be this. But we have I'll have to wait and see until I get a little bit closer to the time, and I'll make a decision then. So that's my waterproofs. In terms of the actual clothing I'll wear, this is just a packing case that I have, and I tend to put my clothes either in something like this, or more likely, again, it will be another Dyneema bag, because most of this stuff I'll be wearing, so I'll want to cinch it down as much as possible. I'll be taking 2 pairs of socks, darn toughs, and all of this kit will be pre-methrined before I go. I've never had a tick yet because I've been doing that. I shouldn't say that, I know, but well, no, that's a lie. I did Cape Wrath Trail once a few years ago with a friend of mine. I got one on my hand. Never got one actually biting me, but yeah, they don't like pre-methrin and they stay away if you do. So 2 sets of darn tough socks. I'm a bit of a mountain equipment fan, and do you remember when when Fjallraven had those like hiking stroke trousers, stroke tights, and everybody was going for them, and they were really good, and then they sort of binned them to more of a tight type trouser. It was lighter and everything, but less robust, and sort of it's not been, in my view, as good. But I was looking at the time for them, couldn't find them, so I bought these, and these are tight. Well, they're elasticy, but they do grip your legs really, really well, and they're super comfy. Mountain Equipment Ostra they are, and I've walked everywhere in them. I've done all my trails in them, and I just rate them so highly. They're brilliant, and like I say, super comfy, good in all sorts of weather, yeah, when it's raining, obviously just stick those things over the top. But I love them. Yeah, you can get things. So they've got zipped pockets. They've got a hip thigh pocket as well, although I've never really used thigh pockets. I don't like things on my legs when I'm walking. But you can get your phone, and I have an Ultra, a Samsung 25 Ultra, and that will fit in there. So that's fine as well. But can't recommend these enough. These are my absolute go-to trousers when I'm hiking. In terms of t-shirts, now I tend to wear 2. Excuse the colour combination. So I start off with a base layer, merino wool, 100% merino wool. I think this is Mountain Warehouse, yeah. And they're just brilliant for long days. They thermoregulate, so you don't get either too hot or too cold. You can roll the sleeves up, you can unzip the zip, you can ventilate accordingly. But they also antibactericidal, so that case hiking doesn't appear with these. Again, sort of like the go-to for most people who hike distances. And then I have a second layer, a mid layer if you want to call it that. But this is a t-shirt that goes over the top of it. Again, another 100% merino wool. And this sort of combination, if it's a really, really hot day, I'll just wear the short sleeve one. If it's a coolish day, I'll wear the long one and the short one on top. And if it's a like in between, then I'll decide then. I can always strip one of them off. But between them, they are absolutely brilliant. And again, if I really needed to, if it was cold or anything, I could just stick my my raincoat over the top if I needed a sort of a protection from the wind. But that's sort of like not really likely, because just don't get that problem with it. In terms of gaiters, just a pair of Montane trail gaiters. Oh yeah, probably should talk about the shoes. I haven't got them here. I wear Ultra Olympus 5s. Hate the 6s because of the heel pads that they've put in. If anybody saw my Land's End John O'Groats first day, I got a massive blister wearing the 6s, so definitely don't recommend those. I know some people like them. I just don't get on with them, so I wear the Olympus. Now, in terms of sealskins or not, sealskins are brilliant, but the reality is when you're fording rivers and things like that, they're not going to keep the wet out, and they are quite difficult to dry. So I'm probably not going to take sealskins. I haven't 100% made my mind up, as obviously as socks, but I think probably what I'll do is I'll just alternate my socks. I'll either have another pair of socks or just go with the two and alternate those. But montane trail gaiters, they'll go over the top of the Olympus, and they're great just for keeping out, you know, debris, any like bits of stone or things like that. And then finally, underwear, 2 pairs. And these are step 1 underwear. So that's my clothing. I'll just so that's that. Now coming on to my odds and sods. Don't know how much I'm going to go through this because there's a lot of stuff in here. Compees, got loads of compees. That said, they've been there for ages, and I don't tend to use them very much. Once I tend to put some like compees on prophylactically, so I might put them on the balls of my feet and my heels, and then they just tend to stay forever. I don't, like I say, the ultras are brilliant, so you don't tend to get blisters with them anyway, because they just fit fantastically. And these are there more for protection or prevention than protection. So there we go. Hot hands, like I said earlier on, I just throw them in the bottom of the sleeping bag if it's a particularly cold night. Tablets, mainly Brufen, paracetamol, things like that. I think I've got some Sudafed or, you know, things like that in, but basically that, and I think a bit of first aid stuff in there as well. Then I've got a spare spoon, probably won't take that. Toothbrush and toothpaste, just a small one, and a bamboo one. I don't chop them down, it's too much of a pain to try and clean your teeth properly. So yeah, that's those. For some reason I've got some coffee and hot chocolate in here. So I'll just pop those down there. That's from my last walk, sorry. I've got a bit of cave tape, not so much for my feet, but I've got I get a bit of pain in my ankle after a while. I think it's just tendon stretch, that's part of life. And if it gets really uncomfortable, I'll just stick a bit of support K-tape on it, and that seems to do the job. In here I've got nasal strips and ear plugs so that I can sleep comfortably at night. Tick remover, and just a few antibacterial wipes. You never know when you might need them, you know what I mean. Put those down there. I know I've got this from when I stayed in a hotel last, a bit of body wash, shampoo stuff. So if I stay at a hotel, or if I get the opportunity, I may use that. But it's nice and small, so it doesn't take a lot of room, and it's not a lot of weight. And then finally, I'll just quickly show you this. Oh my days. There we go. That's a little pen knife. And it's really cool because it's also got a toothpick in, but it's got a tick remover, it's got scissors, it's got nail clippers, and it's just brilliant. So that's quite helpful. Yeah, so that's that, and I think let me just put these back. So that's that, and then well, we all know what this is for. I've got actually, some people use something called the juice of spades. Anyway, it's a metal one. I don't like that because if you've ever had to dig a hole, you need to get a good grip. And those metal ones, they don't inspire confidence. And everyone who I know who's used them tell me that it really hurts the hands. So this one is a good one for doing that, and it's plastic, it's light, does the job. But yeah, there's that. Oh, gloves, sealskin gloves. These are brilliant, super tough. I don't tend to hike with gloves for long. Often I'll just start out in the morning, or if I've been using the poles a long time and my hands start getting sore. But they are absolutely brilliant, tough as old boot nails or whatever they are, but they work really, really well. And then finally, the electronics. So now, question here is, I'm a bit nervous about running out of power. So I've got a 26,000 milliamp power bank that will normally recharge my phone about 4 times on a normal usage. Bearing in mind I'm using my phone for navigation, for obviously for communication, but also for doing all of my photography and videography. So it is quite power hungry in that respect. For weight to power ratio is brilliant. I can't remember exactly how much they weigh. Let me just double check. It's 26,400 milliamp and it weighs 360 milligrams. Now, I may take one, I may take two, not sure. Having two gives me comfort that I know I'm not going to run out of power. But in terms of weight to power, they're absolutely brilliant. You compare them to some of the other ones. I've got like one of the carbon type ones, and in terms of the actual weight to power ratio, it's not that much different. So these are brilliant. They last really well. They've been incredibly reliable, and I do tend to take them with me. So I may take one, I may take two. Just a couple of spare cables. Again, I may not. I'll only take one of these probably because. Oh no. Yeah, I'll only take one of these. I've got to make sure that I've got enough. I've got various types of things. So I've got you probably saw on the rucksack, I've got an InReach Mini, which is a satellite communicator, and that takes a mini USB. So most of my other things take a USB-C, but you just have to make sure you can cover it. And also I've got a Garmin Fenix 6X, and that has its own special power connector. So what I've done, and I'm hoping you're going to be impressed with this, but you may not be able to see it. Let me come over. Here is a standard USB type adapter one, and you've got various connectors that you can put onto them. So theoretically I can just get away with just taking this one, but I do like a bit of redundancy as well, so I may end up taking a spare cable as well, but only one spare cable. My phone takes USB-C, so I will definitely be taking one of those. And then my FlexTail pump for the pad, and I'm bringing two of these. I just don't want to get there if I lose one. I haven't got it, and it weighs virtually nothing, so I'll take that. And then finally, just a standard Petzl Bindi. They're super light. Everybody's got them. They work fine. The thing I'm almost not going to take it. I'm not 100% sure yet, because in May it gets dark very, very late, and it gets light very, very early in Scotland. So the reality is I probably won't need it, but it is very light, and I may take it. We'll just have to wait and see. Probably will, because I'll forget to take it out. But yeah, so that's my electronics. I'll just quickly show you the Garmin as well, because that's a critical bit of kit on a walk like this. You don't want to mess about. So yeah, Garmin InReach Mini. This is the Mini 1. There's now, I think, a Mini 2 and a Mini 3. But this does the job. Super light. It weighs hardly anything. It's enables me to have satellite communication. It's got a SOS button, so that if the worst thing happens, then I can press that and get help. and it also gives my family peace of mind. So I will definitely be taking that, and that's where it will stay. I think that's probably about it. But yeah, I'd really be happy to hear what you think. Let me know if you think I've missed anything out, or you want any questions about anything. Just ask away, and I'll try and answer it to the best of my ability. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you out on the trail. Cheers. Sorry, I meant to say, this is stuff, by the way. I've just packed it all away. I will include my LighterPack list on the description in the video, and there was something else as well that I meant to say. Oh yeah, the total weight of this is, I think, just over 10 kilograms, about 10 and a half. I think it's just short of 11 with water and food. So I'm quite happy with that. And yeah, so give me your thoughts. Cheers. Bye.